In this lecture, we're going to learn how we can use the selection tools when UV mapping. We can actually use the same selection methods for our UV maps that we use in 3D mode. We can still, believe it or not, grab, rotate and scale in the UV maps. So we're going to learn all this, and then I'm going to give you 3 challenges. So let's log into Blender. So once again, I've got my cylinder mesh up, and from the previous lecture we know that we can now sync the selection on both sides. However, maybe I want to mix things up a bit. Maybe I want to perhaps scale these out to make these a bit bigger. So let's select this face, and we're going to grab this face here, and as we can see, we can move it anywhere we want. We can even move it off screen. A really useful strategy is to actually move everything off screen off your UV map so that you can rearrange it to your specifications. So I can also use advanced selection tools, so I don't want to separate these because they're all together, which is good. So I'm going to use the box select tool, so I'm going to press B to select all, grab and bring it off. So I know this is my bottom, I know this is my top. So maybe I want to rotate this. Maybe I think, maybe rotating this will give it a better space. So if I use box select, I can press R to rotate, and I can rotate by say 90. See what I've done there. Make sure that things you don't want selected are not selected. Don't forget, box select ignores the fact that you've already selected something, so it will add to that. So press A to deselect, B to enter box select, select our object or series of objects, R to rotate 90 degrees and enter. Now we can grab and we can position it wherever we want. So I'll position it up here. Very nice. I can grab the top and I'll place it about here. Grab the bottom, place it around here, maybe a little bit higher. Now for these two, I want to make these bigger, but I don't want them to be different sizes, because if these are different sizes on the UV map, then the way texturing will be applied will be slightly off. So I'm going to select both of them with Shift right click, and I'm going to go scale pivot point individual origins, S, scale and click, and there we go. So we've got a lot more space used there. Ideally you do actually want to try and use up as much of the UV grid as possible, because the more of the UV grid an object takes up, the more detailed the texture for that part of the object can be. So there we go. That's how we can use selection tools in UV mapping. Your challenge now is you are going to create a battery, a water bottle and a cola can, and with each of these objects I want you to mark seams and UV unwrap them. Once you've unwrapped them, if you're happy with your unwrap, I want you to do what we've just done in this lecture. Grab parts of your mesh, rearrange it to suit you. Don't forget that if you're not happy with the way you have unwrapped your object, you can always press Ctrl or Command Z to undo the UV unwrap. Thanks guys, and I will see you in the next lecture.